John Grant here in Los Angeles. We are live on the 405, and joining us is Newsninja2012, also known as Wayne Dupree. Wayne, how you doing?
Hey, John. How you doing, man?
Great. Listen, you're a Twitter phenom. I mean, you've got, what, 8,000 followers?
Close to it.
Yeah,
Close
okay. Well, we'll build those numbers up maybe a little bit here.
I hope so.
You also have a pretty big Facebook following and your own YouTube channel, and I have checked out your stuff. It's pretty good.
Thank you.
I didn't find you on Wikipedia, though, and I guess that's the next step. So maybe we can sort of do a Wikipedia on the fly for who you are.
That will work.
Yeah.
That will work.
Now, you're from Maryland. Is that D.C. suburb Maryland or someplace else?
We are, I would say, maybe 20, 25 minutes away from D.C.
Okay.
But, yeah, Baltimore.
All right.
Baltimore.
I know it well. Now, do you have an organized political background, or are you one of those, fresh-faced citizen activists that we keep hearing about? Where did you come from, and how did you get where you are?
Well, John, I would say in 2008. Well, actually, to start off, my father was a pastor who was very active in the 60s. And there was a whole lot of things that I didn't know about that I learned about over the past few years from my mom, and how he stood his ground on different issues, and he was out there fighting the fight, and something that you could be really proud of.
So you don't have a lot of personal recollection of his religious or political activities in the 60s. Now, how would you describe them? Would you say they were conservative, or obviously back then conservative meant something different, and progressive meant something different. But how would you describe his politics back in the 60s?
Proud man, responsible for anything whatever you did, you had to take responsibility for it. When you say that you were going to do something, you do it. You stick to your guns. You don't live off of anybody. You don't try to take from somebody and give to somebody else. You work for what you get, and that's what you get, and then you teach that to your children and their children. So that's what I got from him.
I see, you've weighed in on the gay marriage issue quite a bit on Twitter. So it's safe to say you're both a fiscal and a social conservative, right? That's right. Okay. And I guess I've got to ask, because everybody wants to know, tell us about the world as a black conservative. Your friends, your coworkers are aware of you. How does that work? And, as you sort of came out of your shell, how did that change things in terms of the way they interact with you and relationships that you have, friendships, family, etc.?
Well, I mean, it's seriously, John, it's hard sometimes. It is hard sometimes, because the people that you grew up laughing with and joking with and stuff, and they have their frame of mind and I have mine, and I guess that's part of just growing up. But I've never been one to just follow along or be told that I'm supposed to do something just because other people are doing it, especially after leaving the military. Okay. What
was your military service, by the way? I must have missed that in looking through all of your stuff online.
Oh, yeah. I was in the Air Force. I was in the Air Force for 8 years. I served in the Gulf War with the stealth fighter based out of Tonopah test range in Nevada. And that was a good experience, too. Okay. So, I mean, I love the country. I do. I really do. And I would do anything, as I did in the military, I would do anything to protect it from any hurt, harm, or danger. And and I feel that deep in my heart. So, that's something that I try to teach my kids too. I want them to love the country and be responsible when they grow up, and and just keep that as a legacy.
What do you? How do you deal with that online? I mean, obviously you must attract a lot of crap. How do you deflect that?
Yeah.
How do you make that work? And you know, do you go head to head with them? Do you fight them? Do you ignore them? You know, how far do you go to make your point?
Sometimes, I mean, I've found, because again, I used to be a Democrat. I wasn't always a conservative. So I used to be a Democrat. So I know how it is when you try to get a point across and the other person is using facts, but you don't want to hear facts. You want to control the conversation. You want to change. You want to get your point across, and if the other person doesn't want to hear it, then you brush them off. So when they do that to me, I know what they're doing, and all I can do now is use facts.
What's it going to take for Democrats to stop? I hate to use the word fooling black voters, or what's it going to take for Republicans to win them over? What's the game plan got to be in order for that whole thing to shift?
You know, I wish that the RNC would really allow more minority conservatives to stand on the podium with them and just and say, hey, look, this is we are a party of color too. We have various colors in this conservative movement, and if we are allowed to be visible and to say, hey, this is who we are, I'm sure that a whole lot more would come over, because a whole lot of liberal minority Democrats, blacks, Latinos, they're tired of 45 plus years of basically slavery politics, and they want to change, but they're scared to change. And now, believe me, Twitter, I have found so many conservative, black conservative, Latino conservative, they have come over and say, yeah, you know what, I'm glad that you're saying this. I'm glad, because you're saying stuff that I want to say, but I'm scared to say it. But they're coming over, and I'm seeing more and more every day. So they're coming in dribs and drabs, but they are coming.
Okay. You mentioned the RNC. I know Michael Steele is from your neck of the woods, more or less. What kind of a grade would you give him in terms of the way, you know, he dealt with it, both as the head of the party and you know, a person of color? How would you say he did in terms of his helmsmanship?
Well, let's see. I thought it was a great day that when he was elected to be in charge.
Okay.
I don't like how it ended and how he took.
I don't want to put you on the spot. I mean, but obviously, okay.
But how he tucked tail and ran.
Okay.
And,
all right.
And the reason why I say that is because he was on. I saw this video of him on MSNBC, and he's he's laughing with them, and you know, I got thrown out and stuff like. No, I mean, dude, you didn't get thrown out. You messed up, and you know, you went to the other side, and you're laughing and joking about it, and I mean, I didn't like that when I saw it, and I don't follow him now. You know, I don't follow him now, but
okay.
I thought it was a great job that he got there, and I thought that he could do a whole lot more than what he did, and to a point he did, but all the extracurricular stuff that came up towards the end, it was just
okay.
It was just bad.
Well, here's what we'll do to kind of wrap it up. Is I'll just kind of go down a list of names and topics, and you can kind of give me a Twitter-like response to okay. what you think. And first one will be Alan West.
Love him.
Okay. What about Herman Cain? What do you think of the way that whole thing went up and down throughout the primaries?
Well, it's crazy about Cain, because just as soon as he rolled out, you didn't hear no more about these women. So you know what the media did to him, and I just wish that, seriously, I wish he would have stayed. I wish that he could have fought back against those things, but I understand family comes first, and I just wish that the media, that the liberal bias that they have, I wish that I wish that we had more conservative TV stations, TV news venues, to counteract what they have now against what we have on TV.
What about Mitt Romney? Does he come up short in your eyes as far as the antidote to Obama?
I'm going to say this, and I've said this before. Mitt Romney looks like he's going to be the nominee for the party.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to back him 100% no matter what. And I'm going to stand out there, and I'm going to have my signs, and I'm going to be on Twitter, I'm going to be on Facebook, I'm going to be on anything that I can to show the contrast, to show the difference between both him and Obama. Now, if he doesn't do what he's supposed to do, if he gets elected, then I'm going to be on Twitter and Facebook, and I'm going to be marching and stuff against him to make the changes that we wanted him to make. But I think he's better than Obama.
Okay, I guess that's my next question. Barack Obama this week down 7 to Mitt Romney. Do you believe he could win today, and do you think he still has a chance of pulling this out in November?
If you would ask me that on last week, I probably would have said I think he has a 50-50 chance of doing it. After what he did with the gay marriage vote, the gay marriage support, I think that he is going to lose some of the, 90-some% of blacks that voted for him in 2008. And if he loses some, then I think that he's toast.
Okay, we'll talk about gay marriage for a couple of seconds. You mentioned that. In all 32 states where it's been put to a popular vote, it has lost. And
exactly.
and the margin was especially dramatic among minority voters. Do you think the events of this week is going to translate into some slippage of minority support for Obama, or do you think that that's a vote that he can pretty much count on no matter what he throws at them?
Not anymore. He can't count on that anymore. There are some hardcore black Christians out there that will not, no matter what is told by the media, they will not support him.
Do you think that abortion, birth control are equal in terms of their weight with minorities, or do you think the gay marriage issue really puts it over the top?
The gay marriage issue puts it over the top. I mean, the abortion issue has been out there for years, and they still vote in major blocks for the Dem party. But no, it's a major difference.
All right, well, great, Wayne, Newsninja2012. Thanks for the time. We'll have you back on. As I said, this is kind of an evolving show here, so maybe we can work some guest hosting in or something like that. I'd like to see where this goes. So thanks very much for your time today.
Thank you so much.
All right, John Grant in Los Angeles. We'll be back with more of the 405 Live.